While the look of the Black Raven armor is not that exciting because it of course looks like an alternative version of the Hidden Ones armor set, the perk is actually quite nice. Especially the new bow is kinda crazy because it basically combines a predator bow and a light bow. It's really nuts. In this video I will also talk about some cool major rune weapon combinations, a skill that is not working properly, and way more. So a like on the video would of course really help me out. And let's go. I started a new giveaway for 2,300 Helix credits, which you can enter via the link in the pinned comment, and these giveaways are for subscribers of the channel only. I will of course reach out to the winner via the email. Before we look at that crazy bow, I want to start with the new shield that was added, which has a pretty interesting perk increasing ranged damage when undetected. Like, we've not seen that before in Valhalla, but the problem is that it doesn't always immediately trigger, at least not for me. Because you of course know that the perk is active thanks to it like showing up above your health, but when, for example, going into a camp for the first time, you will not see the perk yet. Even after assassinating a target, I still don't have it yet. Just when I assassinate someone, then start a fight with these two archers, take them out, that is when I see the perk. So when I'm like hidden after a fight. Which is kind of strange because you want to like sneak around and not start a fight first. So not sure if it works as intended. Also the 10 range damage is of course not really a lot. You will notice that the first hit you do while being hidden and while having the perk active will deal more than the hits you do after that. But overall not really a great shield. And it also kind of goes against the whole Black Raven armor set. Which about hitting 3 arrows to have a pretty sick effect trigger, namely 20 extra range damage and 35 extra headshot damage. So after one shot, the perk will already appear, but then you have to hit the enemy 2 more times, and then the perk is full and will be active for 60 seconds. But it's kind of weird because every time you hit an enemy again, the timer resets. So the 60 seconds has not really a big use. Only if you, for example, clear some enemies and then go to another camp very close by, then the perk will just be active in the background and you benefit from it the moment you try and hit the other enemies. Also nice to know is that when you hit a target but don't do any damage, so hit a shield for example, then you will still keep the perk. And it will also even count towards the 3 hits that are needed to have the perk active. So just don't miss and then you will keep the effect. And I really like this idea because it rewards skillful shooting with more damage, while if you miss often, then you have no bonus at all. So that's why I really like to use the armor set with any hunter's bow, because it's just easier to hit enemies with a hunter's bow than with a light bow, for example. With a light bow, you want to be fast, so you have more chance to miss, while with the hunter's bow, you got more chance to line up the shot, especially during the focus of the Nornir, which of course insanely powerful in combination with this armor set. But the bow that is part of this pack that I really hope we see at Red as soon is a light bow, or actually a predator bow. So the item card says that this Raven beak is a predator bow, while it functions as a light bow and it has bonuses from both weapons. So Ubisoft basically created a beast of a weapon, intentional or not, let's discuss that in a moment. But first, let's take a look at this insane bow that you already saw in action a bit. So it increases the headshot damage on a headshot. So you have to do a headshot first, and then the perk from this hunter's bow shows up, as you see above your health. It's there for 10 seconds, but every time you do a new headshot, the perk resets. So just like with the armor. If you keep hitting headshots, then you will have this effect going, which is quite nice. But the downside of headshots is that on crit perks, don't trigger on critical hit headshots. So when doing the hunter playstyle, I like to have the ignite your weapon after critical hits major rune on a bow, which of course based on the Sepulchre Axe, but when putting this rune on a bow, you ignite your arrows instead, which is really nice. Only again, these effects don't trigger on headshot crits. At least on paper that seems to be the case, but still in practice, like when even focusing on the headshots, you will totally sometimes do a body crit and then suddenly have the flaming arrows, which will then enhance your damage. So really the key here is to just focus on the headshots as much as possible, keep hitting the enemy, doesn't matter if you then sometimes hit the body parts, because you want to build up those consecutive hits as well. And maybe you already noticed another perk in this footage, damage because yes, with this bow you also trigger the Predator bow combo skill that you of course have to unlock in the skill menu. So because the item card says it's a Predator bow while it functions as a light bow, you still get the effect from the Predator bow skill as well, which is just insane. So going back to the skill menu, it says consecutive headshots with a Predator bow deal extra damage, but that is by the way not true, because even non-headshots count towards this perk that has an icon of a headshot. Why not? And this, by the way, not only the case for the Raven's Beak, also for regular Predator bows. So just hitting an enemy regularly, not focusing on the headshots, will still have you build up this perk. After 4 hits, you have the full effect, and then it will just count down, so it will not reset after a new hit, like the other perks that I mentioned here in this video. When you miss though, you will lose the perk and have to build it up again. But it's just crazy that this skill now triggers on this already super strong light bow because the item card text is wrong. Like, you would think that this is a mistake, right? Like, that seems to be obvious, but is this intended to be a Predator bow or a light bow? Because a Predator bow fits better with the shield, extra damage while hidden makes more sense if you like pick off the enemy with a Predator bow. While with the Black Raven armor set, it makes more sense to have a light bow because you want to hit fast to get the perk going. So high chance that they will change the item card, I think, to a light bow later on, kind of nerfing the item. But yeah, this was clearly a mistake, I think, that they did not oversee. Just like that Predator bow skill in general, I guess. So let's hope that we still get it in its overpowered form at Reda at some point. And when we do, I will of course let you know here. So totally subscribe to stay up to date on everything Valhalla if you haven't already. We should learn more about a new update very soon, so I will keep an eye out. A like on the video would of course really help me out. And totally check out my recent video on Reda's weekly reset, the Ubisoft Connect challenges, and other Black Raven items that were added. You can watch it by clicking on the screen or at the end of our community photo mode showcase. You can of course send your shots via the JorRaptor hashtag on Twitter or via the dedicated pictures channel on Discord. And you can join the Discord via the link in the pinned comment. Be sure to accept the rules first, and then you are able to post. Okay, Joyce, your turn. The photo mode expert here on the channel. You selected 3 shots from the community, so I'm curious, which one did you select this time?
Hello. Let's start with a very cool close-up action shot from Spoon over on Discord. The creator used the hula hoop set for this shot, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Love the details on the outfit and the hidden blade on the right. The background gives it a very interesting vibe as well. The glowing spots of fire on the left. Very well done.
Yeah, I wonder where this is. Like,
me too.
Oh, how did you do this?
Up next, we've got Aeneas Rex, hope I pronounced this right, who found its Eivor in a particular sticky situation with a couple of bears surrounding him. And instead of fighting them, however, he used the play death tactic. What's the skill called again?
Feign death.
The feign death tactic.
Yeah.
Is this a smart way to let them move on, or will he sneak up to get the advantage?
I saw it more as the bears are like protecting Eivor. Eivor's just chilling there in the grass, and the bears are like, don't touch this man. Or is it female Eivor? I don't see it from this angle.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Anyway, great shot. And finally, we've got King Dodd, who captured this enemy on camera, and looks like he's very interested in the dagger Eivor is holding. Love how the light effect behind him is giving this extra touch of excitement in kind of an animation style over the dagger while he has an axe stuck in his head.
Yes,
oh boy.
Seems like that. And I kind of get this Metal Gear vibe. Maybe you can like play that sound under this. Really cool. Thanks King Dot and everyone else for sharing their shots. Again, you can send in your shots and then maybe they are in the next Valhalla video. Subscribe to stay up to date on all the Valhalla content. And don't check out that previous video where we also go over some other Black Raven items that were added. You can watch it by clicking on the screen. And for now, we will speak to you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.